Welcome, welcome back, and welcome home, love beings. Welcome home. My name is Melissa, and I will be your multidimensional cosmic tour guide today. We are going to do an energy update check-in about September 2022, and we're also going to talk about the number 9 because as the 9th month of September is here, we may be seeing nines. We'll just talk about what it is when we see the number 9s in things and recognize that as one of our signs, messages, codes. And so in numerology, we'll start out with this. It's an ending, a completion, full circle, number 9. Let's see what the internet says. The number 9 shows you've lived and you've learned. You're engaged with living your life in a meaningful, conscious manner, and you're setting rewarding goals. So there is a theme of energy in the 9th month of September for us. And as we know, in the last years, weeks, months, days, decades, centuries, we've come up against that eternal spiritual war struggle of the divine masculine and feminine and the interference of other energies and entities that have just had us in slavery for tens of thousands of years. We know inside, and you can check yourself on anything anyone ever says in your heart, we know that we have come to a completion point of complete in many layers of our consciousness that were not for our highest good. So I'm just going to ask that there be cleansing, clearing, healing in whatever ways that are right for you in completing, finishing, detaching from some things that are not for your highest good that have been possibly bothering you or haunting you or following you. And remember, some of those things could be energetic interferences that have been projected or forced upon us as humanity in our consciousness throughout history. So be kind to yourself and please be kind to others and have compassion, honesty, truth. It would help on this September journey we're getting ready to take. So what else does the internet say about the number 9 numerology? Through life experience, the number 9 in numerology has learned the value and the magnitude of its inner wisdom. That is also a really big theme in the energies right now. We're getting ready to have 6 planets in retrograde, and the ways the energies are coming in with the solar flares and the magnetic energy stuff going on, and who knows what CERN did, or who knows what is going on over here, or what our different perspectives are. It's time to complete some of those old karmic cycles in our mind, body, spirit, soul, energy forms, which is spirit, connected to our higher self, which is God's source, spark. And it really does mean a finishing completion. And there is a theme. So sometimes when we look at things throughout history in the past, like let's just take 9/11, one of the most horrific, most tragic days in some of our lifetimes, where everything went backwards, the dark, the fear, everything changed. And for many of us, and it was to almost like desensitize us backwards into the lower matrix, to taint our Akashic energy that's supposed to be pure in our consciousness, that heaven on earth Christed energy, the Akash, tainted some of that for all of our perceptions. So there are other things, but because that 9/11 happened in September, in some of our lifetimes it was beyond tragic, and it did turn everything backwards. And I remember thinking on 9/11, this is the beginning of the end. So number 9 sometimes refers to endings. I am not referring to people's death in consciousness, or the pieces that of our ego, of our thoughts, our belief systems that have been really holding us back and stuck in stagnant, painful, depressed, oppressed, fearful energies. We are pulling out a chunk of that. And in the next days, weeks, months, and years, we will see the relief in the physical realm from this time period of completions and the end. So it is not the end of time, it's not the end of lives. However, I think all of us are aware that we would like to end some of the chaos and what has been binding us into these lower energies. So that's what's up. And I was on a vortex tour the other day, and some of my people and their family was here. So we did an ultimate vortex tour here in Sedona, and where we touched the earth and went and said prayers and did connecting in love, shared love, peace, joy, our connection and truth together in these different energies around Sedona, which are sometimes all over the earth. There are energies, vortexes, ley lines that have particular energies that have been sort of shut down a little bit in the last tens of thousands of years that we are bringing back into wholeness, just like we are in our own mind, body, spirit, soul forms. So we were in each area, and some of my favorite places here, we stopped and did prayers and did a little bit of readings and things like that. And one of my person that was here said, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting a message from a family member of theirs that had passed." And they said, "Oh, he just said shit's getting ready to get real." And I didn't know for a moment because I could feel it. I did not hear him or perceive him saying that at the time, but it rang true in my heart. And I'm like, oh. So that has, ever since that moment the words were spoken, I thought, oh yeah, September into September, it's getting ready to get real. And we can either choose to hold some of the happiness, love, joy, peace while things are getting real. And that means in us. When we look in the mirror, there are pieces of us in these times that we will be able to remember who we are a little bit more. And that's part of being real. So uncovering all of the distortions where, not that we weren't authentic and genuine, some of us, but we have had a lot to process, a lot to navigate through, a lot to work on, the shadow of who we are and our purposes and missions, which are different for everyone. So this getting real thing reminded me, and it was very clear that in these time periods and then for the rest of the year, perhaps further, we are going to continue to step forward, each of us in our own ways, and remember who we are. And that will show us what is real. And I think that in a way we will awaken again. We've had many cycles of this where we awaken again and again to going, why is it set up this way? What's going on here? And learn how to shift into choosing in different ways. And I'm also receiving for the last few days that if we go back to basics, to the root of what we've known, how do we heal? What is our choices here? And hold that, it helps manifest and create for this new cycle, which we go from 9 to 10, which is new. 1 plus 0 is 1. New start. And the 0 in the 10 is full circle, home, 0 point. So every breath that we take and every moment, if we can remember to come back into remembrance of who we are and what we really are here for, then that helps create for the next decades and days and moments and plant the seeds for us. So that's part of September's theme. And I'm going to show some of the cards of the first one is allowance. And I'm getting this, that in the completion of the number 9, that we are called to remember who we are and allow the true wholeness to flow through us. Messages, truth, understanding, wisdom, that is our natural state of being. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way, without judgment, without opinion, without fear, without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. So the next card we've got is, these are from the Sacred Geometry Activations cards by Lon, L-O-N. I've got the Cosmic Flower. So one of the things that we know, some of us in this perspective know we are doing, is cleansing and clearing the distorted or inverted sacred geometry or codes, the matrix codes of how the universe or our surroundings in this part of the universe has been built around us. So the energetic frequencies and codes and archetypes, roles, templates have been distorted, tainted, and were ripped apart and made to look like the cosmic flower, but there was some extra information that wasn't correct or true. So that would be the false light, our old belief systems. And remember, some of this cleansing and clearing is for all of humanity. And remember, just, I don't know, a couple hundred years ago, there was no electricity in the house. There was no running water. And we certainly didn't have telephones and GPS. So these different mindsets and belief systems, we've evolved and changed and grown. We're stripping out what's not for our highest good, what is not of pure Christed God in our surroundings. So this is pretty cool because I feel the cosmic flower coming back into alignment, divine order, as we align in harmony, peace, and truth from our higher selves, and it all flows together. And as I always say, tuning up so the universe can flow together in the highest good. And I feel like we will have some really big moments where we understand this in whatever words, ways, perspectives that we fit each one of us, and we're going to see like, oh, that's the answer, that's it. And as I say this, when shit's getting ready to happen, the message is straight from spirit, which would be the higher self. Remember, higher self of one of the loved ones passed brings in true, pure information. And by the way, the guides don't chat for long hours about someone else, about judgment things. They just don't. So even that can have in the past has been distorted. And I believe that our veil being open and our distortion being cleared, the shadow being cleared away from us, we'll start seeing starkly with clarity the next steps of remembering who we came here to be and who we are. It's up to us to choose how the universe comes back into divine order in our surroundings, in the way that we are. And the next card for September I've got is fertility. Sorry if that's a little bit fuzzy. It's a number 27 card, and 2 + 7 is 9. So the fertility, I love this one because if we can get into a state of being, of pure love, of joy, peace, light, truth, that's pure consciousness for a second, for a minute, for 30 minutes, then that is the time that we are creating the new earth, as we would call it. So it's being called for us. That's our calling in these times, so that the generations that come forth can see the new earth energy and live daily life in so much better ways than we have been able to for millennia. The frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we were before. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new and grandeur expression of ourselves, remembering ourselves, staying in our own natural state of being, tunes up with the universe, and brings harmony inside of humanity's consciousness. And that is how we create with God and manifest. So on that note, I always love the kids that are coming in, being born. So there might be some fertility stuff coming in for some of you. And I know there are many people that definitely want to have a beautiful child. Advanced, super cool kids. Holding that light. They're naturally better at it than we have been. Naturally. And they need to be protected from the predators, from the ickies, from the darker fear-mongering, from the old patriarchal, mean, controlling, gross stuff. So they can also continue to remember who they are. Because they're going to teach us a whole lot. And they're not going to put up with stupid shit. Yeah. So the last one I've got for September is prosperity. in that number 9, when we have truly studied, worked on, cleansed, cleared, healed, we could call that earning our stripes, doing our due diligence, climbing the stairs. So you will probably see the people that have truly tried to step on each other, lie, cheat, and steal, be pushed back away from us further and further. Because there is a separation of that duality that was false. The natural balance of who we are no longer supports the extreme, severe imbalances of the past. And in a way, so the fabric of who we are, completing clearing some, in September, some really big pieces of fear-based sufferings, lower energies, and we will realize that we came here not to suffer, but to expand who we are and remember who we are in our purest form, which is Christed energy. And so, again, I ask for all of us, for all of September, that everything under grace, gently, easily, safely, in the highest good, be rinsed clean from us, removed, cut away, anything false, false lights, anything that is not for our highest good, so that we can stand in that prosperity, because it is your natural state of being to be prosperous, abundance inside and out. And your spirit, great spirit, knows this. And our higher self has been trying to come in to function in our daily lives in this physical form. And that's what we would call awakenings and ascension. But it's just been blocked and delayed. And humanity is having a hard time. I don't know, maybe we're really not, but it is having a hard time coming into that full balance that's way past any of the old concepts and belief systems that we've had in the past. It's pure. I'm also seeing some people really recognize everything that has been taken, stomped on, mocked, hated in who you are when you have tried to express who you are really are. Anyone's come against you, lied in extreme cases, we have seen betrayals, lying, cheating, stealing, because those are the darknesses. Main. That's all they know. That's all that energy knows. And sometimes it comes through human beings. And we aren't willing, we're just not, that's part of some of the completion that's happening right now. So the purity in the natural state of being of who we are is prosperous, rich, inside and out. And that's what's going to be called for each of us to rebuild the richness, prosperity, the abundance in this world so that it fits everybody's needs and wants and desires. Because if we're tuned up in the perfect, not perfect, but in the right light, divinity, purity, then there's always enough for everyone. There's always enough for everyone's likes and needs. And that prosperity is, we're going to have glimpses and inspirations on how to get there, to plant the seeds for this. But I am seeing people go, why am I doing it this way? Why don't I allow God, source, divine, universe of pure divine light to help me find and remember what makes me the happiest, what makes me the richest, what makes me the most genuine, true, authentic, real me. And you'll see those answers coming in. And in the big picture, I'm seeing in September it be a little bit up and down, tumultuous. There's that chaos still bouncing out in the atmosphere around us. And I'm feeling an energy that I believe was designed a long time ago, even though it feels like it's happening now, to slow us down and almost like encase us in that lower imprisoned mindset. Because there really is an energetic time period where we need to step forward right now and start changing. It's in us. That Christ's return is in us. And remember that we no longer need to yearn, wait, be alone, lonely, and feeling left behind as we have in the past. So we're going to learn how to do that and stay stable and grounded in those states of being that are our natural states of being. I'm seeing something about learning how the energy works. So science and spirit coming together. I've said this my entire life because that's the information I came in with as a little child a long time ago, where some of this is going to be seen, and we're going to see how the science and spirit actually work together. So that is codes. And if you're seeing the nines in particular, it can be rewriting the script and also cleansing and clearing throughout some of the fabric of who you are in your mind, body, spirit, soul forms, your own universe. And that's a beautiful thing. If it has been heavy, I'm seeing some of those designs of the lower matrix, of the fallen lower matrix, and those, whatever perspective you have, the demons, the darkness, the imbalances, the karmas, whatever it is, of humanity. Remember, of all of humanity, and perhaps many other templates and layers, try to design something to keep us held back and imprisoned. And I feel like it's not going to work. So we're going to wake up in peculiar, startling ways, I think, in September, a little bit here and there. And when I'm kind of receiving message from that particular guide that said, loved one that's crossed over, spirit saying, when are you going to see that it's not normal to have school shootings? When are you going to see that it's not normal to follow the rules so much that you miss that there's something really tainted about this system or the way we have done this in the past, and that we are much more capable as well than we have seen ourselves as in the past. So there are other things like no one I know is thinking about anything like judgments or races or cultures or religions, but it seems to be thrown up in our face still, and can distract us and delay us a little bit in September. Doesn't have to be those particular subjects, but whatever the falsity, or it's kind of almost ridiculousness is in the way that we've thought in the past, our belief systems. So I think we'll be opening our eyes in different ways. And I'm also feeling flow. So there's an energy flow is just being sent to us in the shifted magnetic, all kinds of stuff, layers of who we are, dimensions, densities, all these pieces. It's a little bit hard to say without all the words. And we will feel that at different times. And we ask that purity comes into those pieces as we evolve, each one of us, mind, body, spirit, soul. And everything will continue to come up, bubble up into our faces that has not been dealt with. And everyone I know has been working deeply and truly to the best of their abilities to heal, grow, step forward in their truth. And I love this. So if you're worried in any way, shape, or form that your higher self, God, source, light, your multidimensions, whatever words you use, will leave you behind, that is not true. Many of you are safe and protected more than you know. And this universe, God, source, creator, loves you more than you know. And you will have some flashes of that in this September month as well. There's a reactivation because we have been working on cleansing and clearing the actual Mother Earth planet that we live on. And she, who is a living divine being, has also been doing that. We might see some shifts and growths in that, while there are still forces and imbalance, low energies trying to continue to control. So we might see some of that. The answers will come where there are places on the earth. We can call them earth chakras. We can call them ley lines. We can call different, again, science meets spirit, that have been really tainted and infested, just like each of us have, with distorted, fallen, low energies. And so there will be a cleansing and clearing of some of those, so that the things like the waters and the trees and the energies in particular places are like held in highest good, pure light, pure peace, pure love, so that it can come back into the vibration and frequency of what it was always meant to be. So even though I'm in Sedona, where we talk about vortexes and ley lines and energies a lot, some of those definitely have been tainted here. And wherever you live, or wherever we've lived in the past, however, there is a purpose and a truth that the true divine frequency of where these places are getting ready to be pulled back up into the light in certain ways. So we could see some crumbling of the old ways in the actual earth energies. I hope that makes sense. I'm seeing ley lines being activated. I'm seeing mountains in different places that are or have been in the past chakras of the earth, we would call them energy portals, gateways being cleared, cleansed, or dark stuff being shut down in those places, and the matrix in these areas, triggers, traps in these areas, be pulled back into natural state of being a little bit more, where we will be aware of it. So we'll be aware of it in our daily lives. We might not see things, or like, all of a sudden mountains are going to be moved. But this is the time where that biblical saying was, Jesus said, miracles, you will perform much greater miracles than I when you catch on in your ascension. And I'm seeing those times be now. So I don't know if physical mountains are going to be moved, but mountains, problems, issues, blockages be moved. And we will learn how to do that better. We will learn how to heal a little bit better. And that those demons, attachments, darknesses, shadow be cast out even further. And remember, if you're pointing at anyone else saying that they are dark or they have spirits and things like that, that might be certainly not something that you would not tell them, and you would point and, try to demonize them, because you will start noticing that it was you, not them. But all of humanity has distortion and has been affected and afflicted throughout history. Every single human being that's ever been here had attachments, had wounds, traumas, breakages, and those things are going to be part of this September and on, where we realize not to point and demonize each other or harm other people, lie, cheat, and steal. Remember, those are the dark things. Can't manipulate someone else's energy because you think you know something. That's a very bad choice. And those bindings are going to come off a little bit more in September, and the foolery of that is going to drop to the ground, crumble to the ground a little bit more, and we are going to see that Christed energy of the truth of what that scripture says. So moving mountains, healing the sick, and casting out demons. We will learn how to do that without hurting each other and causing more distortion. So I think there will be startling awakenings in some ways along these lines, and I'm seeing mountains and stuff be cleansed and cleared, and even holy places, sacred places have been tainted by that lower dark, those different templates and things like that. So some of those things Christed comes back into us, which is purified, and we'll step forward and keep creating that purification, purity, Christed awareness. So, some of the designs of the darker energies or control, whatever that means, whoever or whatever controlled the designing of the fallen matrix or the Garden of Eden, the devils, the darkness, is going to be unplugged in the next level. So that is weird. This is not what I was expecting. So another deck of oracle cards that I love very much. I pulled out the 9 ones, so I'm just going to pull out. So angelic ones are the number 9 card that I got. Divine healing is upon you. Divine grace and divine guidance. So purity. And those of you who are worried that you're not feeling your angels, your guides as much as you used to, or if you are just, feeling muddled or delayed or stagnant, just know that there's pure light. Our angels helped us integrate up, and we'll continue that as well. And they will be introducing themselves in better ways. So watch for your signs. Go back to the basics, and in pure form, you will have answers when you ask questions to the universe, like, how do I do this? What can I know? How can I help today? And the new answers will start coming in different ways, more clearly than ever before. And again, the universe loves you so much. And your higher self, your divine guides, have all been part of a team here to help you step forward. If you don't believe in those things, that's absolutely okay. but that's a perception in the words and the ways that our human minds can understand it. Your guardian angels and the angels are going to call you. It's going to be new calling, new trumpets blowing to call you into that purified, Christed state of being. And this is where you'll receive your messages. And you are loved. One more thing about September is I'm seeing all of the earth, air, fire, water, and ether elements, which we're bringing back together in wholeness, kind of do it in a cool way. And I don't know what that means. So it feels like we'll be more aware of all of those layers, even the people that aren't spiritual or use those words, those frequencies and tones and densities, earth, air, fire, water, ether, are going to be bringing humanity back into balance, and we will learn from them. So no more energy manipulation using those things and conjuring up strange stuff. The highest good, purity form, Christed energy is going to teach us how to receive and come back into order through that earth, air, fire, water, and ether energy forms. So welcome home, everyone, and I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful September, and miracles, wonderful things happen for each and every one of you, and that everything is under grace or in grace for you, which is that pure Christed energy as well. Blessings, everyone. Welcome home. Thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribes. And if you want an appointment or want to look up more information about my services, the readings, the healing works, the shamanic works, and past life regressions, or the tours, the information is in the box below. And I thank you so much for your love and support. Thank you so much.